this endless suffering. Okay, the endless suffering has begun. Hey, it's Charles here with Cram Voice Lessons. You know what it is. No, you don't, because nobody knows who I am. And I am bringing these office hours to you, sponsored by You Throw Being a Fake Bitch. And let me highlight this so they can see. You Throw Being a Fake Bitch and Patreon, which is in the links. If you're also interested in the Discord, that is in the links for this video as well. This is the last weekly office hours that I'm doing for free because I done and went, learned what I was worth. So now I'm not going to be doing it for free every single week. If you still want to do weekly office hours, join the Patreon. Even like the bottom tier will get access to weekly time in my luminous presence, and you'll get added opportunities, like since it'll be a smaller size, to ask questions about your specific voice. Speaking of which, we're also trying to do a clinic where my students and not my students who pay me money can do like their work in a structured setting, because y'all lazy and not trying to live. Let's see. The neurological. Now y'all want to have questions. The one time I'm like, I have housekeeping. Now there's questions. Y'all funny. Y'all are really funny. Okay. So, the neurological side of saying, like, I've got open-ended. Skill development and imitations. So, I guess there's like mirror neuron stuff that should probably be looked into for voice, because voice is a unique instrument in that there's like physical spatial coordinations that you need to learn in order to be able to sing. You have to move your thussy like counterclockwise every other Tuesday in order to achieve like a certain sound, but you don't see those motions. Like, you hear them and you have to turn auditory data into kinesthetic like motion data. Like, you have to derive like how should this feel to do from your ears, which normally I guess we do it from the eyes, or we do it like kinesthetically. So that's a very interesting field. I feel like people that like that's what I want to see people develop. Is like, how exactly do we go about knowing like what it takes to be able to like do vibrato? Like, how do we know vibrato should feel like this from hearing? So there are people, we can't all be this blessed, but people like me might do something based off of hearing it sometimes, and then other, like, I might not be able to do something from hearing it that other people might be able to do. But in general, there's like this whole trend of people being able to interpret what it should feel like to produce this from hearing it, like being like, oh, that sounded like it hurt, that sounded difficult. Like, how do we develop that concept when we can't even see the difficulty of like what the muscles are doing? So trying to infer from that. Yes, office hours, like the chat says. Okay. So now I'm doing housekeeping because y'all should have appreciated me when you had me. So I'm gonna be just making up for lost time with announcements for a bit. So y'all gonna bear with it and suffer, because y'all could have been asked questions on social media, like I said. Uh, I can type, I can struggle. Oh. Okay, so first order of business is answering the questions that I issued, so nobody can say that I lied, even though I did, on releasing the answers to these questions that I'm sure people are just dying to know. Um, these are the great questions of our time. What is the clearest vocal term? What's the meaning of life? Is it gay if it's a thussy? So the first question I want to go over answering is this one. Which one of these voice adjectives has one scientific anatomical meaning agreed upon by multiple major voice teaching schools? examples include a still, vocology, CVT. So the options were twangy. Does twangy specifically refer to a sound made by the quote unquote twanger? Does making a nasal sounds refer specifically to quote unquote the nose? Does making a supported sound specifically refer to the diaphragm? Does making a throaty sound refer specifically to the throat? Does guttural refer specifically to a demonic hell dimension that I'll never visit again? So the answer is twangy, aka the twanger. The twanger is the area epiglottic sphincters. It's understood muscularly. It's like nicknamed sphincter or the area epiglottic folds, if you must be precise. And twang pretty much specifically refers to that. A couple people answer nasal, having to do with the nose. you thought nasal would have to do with the nose. Where they do that at? So nasal can refer, like in Tristan, Tristan Paredes, so if you can sing anything.com. I'm trying not to curse in this new year. He has a good video where he talks about all the different things that are termed under nasality. I guess the only thing is I wish he would have like emphasized, okay, we should use different words for these things. He kind of like shows you the great wide world of like not misusing the term nasal, but then proceeds to be like, these things are all referred to by nasal, and then doesn't give like hyponasal refers to when you use less nasal resonance. Hypernasal refers to when you use more nasal resonance. And nasal, like this, refers to a terminal condition known as confusing twang for nasality, even though I told you. So nasal can mean all three of those different things. So it's definitely super not unambiguous. And in linguistics, thank the hell God that thank the God of hell that people just use nasal to mean like literally air is going into your nose. And when we say nose, we mean the nasal sinuses, not the outer nose. Like I swear to God, nose surgery does not significantly, external nose surgery, structural nose surgery does not change your voice. Let's see where the other poll is. Oh, and this poll about octaves. So, what is Aretha Franklin's octave count? The answer is she has 4 octaves, like Minnie Riperton. But unlike Minnie Riperton, Aretha didn't have whistle register or M3. She had nodes. No, she had lower range down to at least an E2. So from E2 to E6 was her range. And to give context, E2, let me see if I can like flail on this note. What's it called? A pronus. Y'all about to get this good suffering today. Octaves. Octaves. Another octave. So an E2 is like this. Oh, that's so great. No! Like I love how it's like you wanted an E2, log out. Oh my God. Okay. Oh. So that's like a struggle E2. So that's how low that is, and Aretha was capable of hitting that with relative ease. Okay, and I think that's it for the multiple choice questions on the server. Not the server, on the Facebook. Now let us look at these curse words littering my Discord of God. Oh, I put them in Sweet Sensation. That's why I put them. Okay, so let me answer some of these multiple choices that I did on here. If you're not on the server, what is like wrong with your life? Get on the server by using the link in the description on the YouTube. Let's see if people are asking questions here. Okay, ooh, we have questions. Look, Ma, I told you I could do it. So, here. So, question: which of the following subjects has not yet been mentioned or discussed in the module? So, those of you who aren't familiar with my shameless self promotion, I offer modules on the server on different topics. A lot of them are free. Come onto the server, and there's even more that you can have with more like in-depth work for as low as less than $1 a week. So, what modules have I covered? So, which one is these? The question is basically which one of these have I not covered? So, is it mixed two, which is basically this kind of mixed voice? Was it vocal blackness? Was it so like learning how to sing black, being able to sing black? Because like it's a thing. Like if I sing like they tried to make me go to rehab and I said no, no, nay. So versus that, like doing that with more black, it's like they tried to make me go to rehab. I said, and there's obviously things I'm doing in my voice that are not congenital, do not have anything to do with my cranium size. It does not have anything to do with my credit score. Thank you. So it does not have to do with Ancestry.com. Like all of these things are things that people can actually learn and get better at. So vocal blackness is would be covered like that. Just for people that wanted to try it real quick. So Passagio, which is the split between two laryngeal vibratory mechanisms, the most common passage is switching between M1 and M2, and that's like So Passagio would be like moving between those mechanisms, making that ungodly noise. And then for trans yelling, which is basically like yelling while in trans voice, yelling while presenting as vocally presenting as a voice typical of the gender that you want to identify as a trans person. And yes, I have covered all of these things in past modules, which are archived on the server, recognized for people that support me on social media. So vocal blackness is the only thing that I have not covered on that list so far. I haven't gone in depth about it. I probably like briefly, vaguely mentioned it, but nothing deep. Okay, and then who is the newest mod? The newest mod on our team, and my bad, I made this sound like y'all were voting for who the mod would be. y'all thought I would do my server. I cannot lose all two of the people on this server. So the person who is most recently already been elected at the time of this quiz, you thought module, is Wellington. Congratulations. Okay. Next question is, which one of these trans femme singing ideas do I not hate? So if you want to like feminize your voice while you sing, there's like some extra stuff that you can do that doesn't really apply to talking, like the way that you do your vocal climaxes, the way that you use M2, just like women tend to use like a very thin form of M2. It's called wispy or sometimes falsetto, where instead of going up like they'll be like so they do something like intentionally very thin because M2 is usually like the cherry on top for these for AFAB type singing styles that like AFABs are expected to pull off. AFAB means it's not female at birth. Don't at me. So conspiracy theory noise. The idea that I hate the most, who is adding me? Like y'all want all this attention when I can't give it to you. Like y'all okay, so the different things that are conspiracy theories that I hate. One of these is a thing that I don't hate, but everything else is something that I hate. I know you didn't tag me twice, like deleted. For reducing nasality because of larger AMAB noses, a lot of people think like, okay, if I reduce because AMABs have larger noses, if I am less nasal, that means that I'm calling less attention to my large nose. You thought no. So most people voted for that, and I'm disappointed in all of you, and I want my money back. So the reason why that's wrong is honestly the size of the nasal sinuses and especially the size of the exterior nose really does not make a huge difference in the color of your voice when you sing. It's more the fact that air is going to there rather than through your mouth. So it goes through your nose, and like the lack of spectral energy that is being put through your mouth is what we hear when we hear nasality. So when we hear this kind of dark sound, we think like true nasality, not twang. For those of you that know, this is like true nasality sounds something like this. So that doesn't sound super different if I do it versus if Colleen Ballinger does that for Miranda sings. So our nasalities don't sound super different. So no, wrong. Let me work on it from the bottom. So singing in higher keys, is that something that you can do? Thank God nobody voted for that, or this server would have been deleted. So singing higher keys, yes, like singing higher notes is something that AFABs tend to do, but like there's plenty, like Prince sang high as hell, like nobody thought he was a woman. So there's definitely nothing inherently to like a high note. Well, I'm a real woman now and sing whistle register. Like no, like there's plenty of men, there's plenty of any gender that can do high notes without sounding inherently feminine. Dragging M1 as high as possible without belting, which is like every trans voice person who sings. It is everyone's pastime is like pushing it like M1, which is chance register if you're new here, to like ridiculous highs of like, I need to be able to hit a C6 and M1 without belting or my estrogen levels will deplete kind of tease. And honestly, like, jokes on you because like A5s be switching up prematurely to M2 half the time, especially like in opera. So I think culturally, AFABs are often encouraged to sing more with M2. Um, so yeah. So the correct answer was using weaker belting modes. So like belting with less glottal closure. So that's using like a fake belt, which would be like ah instead of ah, which is like a regular belt, versus like a attenuated belt, which would be like ah. Oh Lord, drone strike. Dang, what is that noise? I guess I don't know if y'all can hear that. Y'all probably can't hear anything because I'm sure this mic is acting up. And then the last multiple choice question was I'm not even gonna read it. Y'all can read. Is Stack Exchange is no longer active, but you can add questions to be answered by office hours like this, which you'll especially want to do because I'm now too bougie because I got 100 subscribers on YouTube. I'm too good to answer your questions every week now. So I'm going to be doing like the public ones monthly. And if you want your question to be answered, it's going to be some Hunger Games. And if you're not hungry enough to put your question on either the Scinguistics Reddit or Scinguistics Facebook, you're probably not hungry enough to get an answer. So post it there if you want to get your little piddly questions answered. Thank you. Da, 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 da. Vowel mods make me black. Three relatively low. Yeah, because they're low frequency, because the formants that are added by nasality are like lower frequency, there's less of a distinguishable like threshold difference between like the nasal sinus formants of someone who is like has a big nose on the inside where it matters, and someone who has like a smaller on the inside nose. And honestly, like that's not what people use in linguistics to determine whether or not something is nasal. Let me pull this up real quick. Nasal lens formants. Where's the Wikipedia? I'm not reading this math. Nasal vowel formants. No! Why? Wikipedia, you were real in the beginning. Um, okay, so here you can see that like it's measured by damping. Um, uh, uh, uh. Anti-formants. God, I wish they would show like the spec. Yeah, so like, dang, I just wish they would show. Do they have like a B versus like nasal versus non-nasal? I just went by side by side. I swear there's something somewhere. But often the way we tell like a nasal vowel from regular vowel is like the dampening and like the clumping up of forming together. Which more has to do with the like absorption of sound rather than like the resonance of like some new stuff. Um, Yes, okay, good. I thought you were trying to say like nasality generates its own formants, like the oral formants that should be like yes, it does generate its own formants, I'm sure, but that's not what we use to read nasality and like the more over effect on yeah, plug. We have articles on somebody linked the wiki. Um we're growing every day. New year, new me. We have like new articles coming out on these topics so you basics can get with the program and stop making me look bad. One block. uh, yeah, I stopped doing Facebook streams as much because God has forgotten me. Um, and the audio and the video on Facebook are just like a Zucker psyop to make me slowly lose my mind. So, can the aeropaglottic folds phonate similarly to the false folds? Can the aeropaglottic folds phonate similarly to the false folds? If you can the aeropaglottic false folds and the true folds vibrate all at once? I honestly need more data on the aeropaglottic folds vibrating. My guess is something called like harsh voice or Kargira. Those things with like a lot of contractility tend to be where you get co-vibration of the aeropaglottic folds. So something like that, as opposed to God, that makes me dry. As opposed to something like this, where that's like I think leans more into the false folds, versus like this, which I think has more aeroglottic folds going because of like that hypercontractility. Oh my God, Zayn Malik and Cupcakey on my video. I'm making it in the world, y'all. So I'm not gonna have time for your little BS questions. Oh my God, explain African formants. Make some white noise. That's why they call it white noise, because it's quiet and messy, just like white people. It's science, y'all. Like, I don't know why y'all talk about sound science being so hard. Okay. Oh, hello. Thunderbolt asks, hey, I'm sort of new and wondering, like, when in the lower register, do you have different voice styles? I think you're asking, like, what mechanism, either M0 or M1, do you use for, like, a C2? Trick question. You thought I can't hit a C2. No, I can, but it's often very struggly. Um, So that's C2, I think. I thought in M0 because I'm not gonna be able to get it. And what am I looking for? a reason to live, but also what website am I looking for? Flute tuner. Yes, flute tuner. Like really, when have I ever been to just flute tunes without the tuner? You thought? Wait, I'm scared. I'm so scared that allowing this microphone will allow demons into my life, and mess up this stream. So yeah, I guess I can't measure that right now. So you just gonna have to take that as it is. So let me do that M0 one more time. Oh, wow, that's so bad. Oh, okay, now do the C3, now split down. Oh, okay, I think that should read as C2. And let's see if I can get down there in M1. Damn, this computer can't even hit C2. Oh. So that's like really horrible, crappy. Probably couldn't hear it. C2 and M1. So that is possible in both. I think the go-to should honestly be like wherever M1 is applicable. I think you should probably go with M1. It gives you a bit more options. You don't have to have like that inherent fry. So M1 can go down to at least like A1 from what we've seen, from what we believe in our hearts. And that would be chest. So yeah, it's possible to hit a C2 in there. The bases on our server could help you out more than me. Oh yeah. There's a for simultaneous spec readings, like that real time reads your spec so you can see how mediocre you are in Technicolor. Like that will work even with like an online thing. So yeah, M1 is like chest. M1 is like chest. It's not hard. I know it's a number. I know it's scary. I know it's looking like pre-algebra, but M1 is a better way of talking about what you're probably referring to by chest. So yeah, it's possible. If you have question about the mechanisms, like the M1, the M2, the M3, all that stuff, you will want to pay attention. No, you will want to look at the laryngeal vibratory mechanisms encyclopedia article. Somebody help this poor soul. Bless him. You can't see me like patting the screen, but I'm patting the screen reassuringly while help arrives. Mod on YouTube. Somebody please link the encyclopedia article on the mechanisms. Oh, yay. Okay. So, Mia's is, I don't have any good specific question, but my friend at Stanford is learning vocal pedagogy stuff written by Dosher McKinney and is like in love with it and acts like she knows how voice science works now because they made her memorize a bunch of anatomy words and that vibrato is impossible. No! No! Like, how is she still your friend? Like, friends don't subject friends to not being able to vibrato in M2. Like, where they do that at? Because the way the vocal folds are stretched and the only natural vibrato is vibrato, all that stuff. I just like throw science papers at her. Don't even like bother, honestly, unless her opinion really means that much to you. Just like throw papers at her to the point of either where she has to engage with these papers and learn that she's wrong, or just say like, I hate science. Then you don't get to go run around like saying like, oh, I'm into science. It's like these people that's like, I'm not like these other girls. I'm a gamer girl. I play like solitaire on my cell phone in 9th grade, so I'm like a gamer chick. Y'all hoes don't understand. Like it's the same kind of thing that it's like, I'm not like you other teachers. I'm into science. I know what a vocal chord is. Like that's literally what these people sound like. So if they just want to be like on science for the swag of it, call them out, but just like be like, oh, here, read an article. Oh no. The female singer, on the other hand, you lost me. Triggered. You lost me at the female singer. Something told me it was over. I want to make that a new meme, like when it's like when you knew it was over from the beginning, like when something just started and you just knew it was gonna be dark-sided and harmful to your health. Like I knew this passage was gonna be harmful to my health when I saw the female singer. On the other hand, no, no. Like this doesn't have to do with vocal cord anatomy. This is like vowels. This is vowels. Like I wasn't aware that women have their own idiolects. Like I wasn't aware that like woman was a dialect of English. Like I'm hurt. I'm harmed by this. It's awful. I'm in hell. Basically, this is saying that like women change their vowels in specific ways when they go to lower. Now, I mean, like women might do that sometimes because they might not be as adept at low notes because women aren't like told that low notes is a thing for them. So when doing like, 'cause it's I do the same stuff, like, and last time I checked I'm not a woman, so I will sometimes like change my vowels weird when I go to lower notes to like try to make do and get by. Like y'all heard some of that struggle on that like C2. So I definitely don't see that as an inherent thing that is exclusive to women. I think it's like a thing that is like you are struggling to hit lower notes. But like any AFAB, any assigned female birth person that is like trained to be adept enough at low notes can hit them the same way a man hits them. Oh, that sounded so bad. Crammed voice lessons advocates abuse. Alt-right sock puppet confirmed. Oh, they seem to ignore vocal tract length in the picture. Like, are you talking about stuff from that linguistics thing that I pulled up? What else do? Linguistics doesn't care about the vocal tract. You thought. Oh my God. Girl, if you don't get out of here, because like you're going to ask me a question after this, Utho, and I'm not going to answer it. You're going to ask me for help doing like the fry rant or something, and I'm not going to help you. Okay, so, what would you suggest for a new school teacher who needs to, a new school. Yeah, I'm so black. For a new school teacher who needs to project their voice in a large classroom for long periods of time each day in terms of maintaining their vocal health. Yeah, water is great. Humidifiers, I think, can technically help as well. Having access to like good inhaled corticosteroids that can reduce vocal swelling. And I guess learning sort of belt intentionally. I think we like not to belt, but like to yell very intentionally and to have like maybe nice glottal closure when you yell. It's a little bit more sustainable in terms of like drying out your vocal folds. If you're all day and night and not drinking, like just like speech level yelling and you're not like turning it into a bell or like yelling like this, like that can be tiring because when you yell you have this like efflux of air just like squirting out the thrusty, and if you are not capturing all that air, it's going to leak even faster when you have this like air leaking really quick through a hole in the glottis when you're like yelling. Like if I'm yelling kind of like this as opposed to yelling like this, that can dry me out pretty quickly if I'm not drinking a lot of water, because it's a lot of air because of high pressure air moves quicker. It's science. High range above D4. High range above D4. Oh, classical people got me weak. Like their voices. Let me stop. I'm waging an unholy war. Okay, so now that that's out the way, what other housekeeping do I have to do? Again, please like this video if you're watching on YouTube. Please like, share, comment, and join my cult. Um, Link to cult in the description. But yeah, no, if you like and whatever, it honestly helps. So I can like get more people in on these conversations. The Church of Bianca. I'm not a cult. Uh, yeah. I also need to get my camera game right before I try to collab with Tristan, or at least my mic game right. I'm not trying to look at my face. I'm not trying to look at my face, which is why you like don't see me. I'm gonna like put up a picture of a white person while I talk so I can get this clout and not suffer in this decrepit lane that I am in. Let me see what a white person with waves. Which one of these is good? He looks like he has a high credit score. So I'm just gonna put a picture of that up while I talk. And that's me now. Google, I asked a very specific question. Oh, dear white people. Fine. Let's put like a picture of that up. Or no. Let me really like get this algorithm going and get this like YouTube shmoney with something that people can relate to. Let me just like make it like this. This is me. This is my screensaver. If you don't like it, you can just like be mad at my credit score and my low cholesterol levels. Oh shit! Yes, Tristan. Looking like he about to pick some kumquats. Looking like he about to go to his fifth Harvard reunion wearing Crocs. Looking like he thinks sodium chloride is spicy. No, let me stop. Um, yes, for free classes. If you follow on YouTube or whatever social media you want, and join the Discord, there are free modules. Somebody tell Thunderbolt about the free modules. There's already recordings of past free modules as well that you can, pretty nodules, beautiful nodules. Oh my god, I'm almost done with this hell. Um, you don't understand. I stayed up all night watching Sense8 and like getting my life together. I got called for jury duty, so that was fun. And I just like filled that out like a week late. And caught up on other things in life. I can't remember because I don't like my life, so I try to like suppress it. But yeah, I was doing like life stuff, so I went to bed at like the appropriate hour of 8 a.m. So I haven't really like, and then I got up again for a lesson that none of you hoes shadowed. By the way, you can join Patreon for shadowing my lessons. Want to know what a lesson with me is like? No? Well, then I guess I can't help you. But yeah, if you're interested in shadowing a lesson with me, um, that is a Patreon benefit. So make sure, if you're interested in that, to check out my Patreon in the description for the YouTube video. Uh, No, I have not watched Cloud Atlas. I finished Sense8 though. Like, I talked with my roommate about it, and it's like I like the premise, but it's like Glee. It's like a cute premise with not the execution I was looking for. Like, only the white Sense8s were super central to the plot line and were like directly fighting Whispers for most of it. Like, oh, spoiler. So let me spoil this racism for you. So, they like Nomi's the elite trans girl Haxor, which is like redundant with being a trans girl, apparently. And I can't remember these like Kaylins and Jadens. What was his name? Like Max, Pilot Inspector, Beach Towel, whatever like the male lead's name was. Um, he was like all central in the plot and everything, but like none of the people of color. I guess you can kind of count like Leto for like a hot second. Um, but like Leto's white in real life, anyways. So, in fact, well, I think they write it into the plot. I think they even say like he's like half Spanish, half Mexican. Because like honestly, like the way his accent sounds like more Spanish, like Spaniard Spanish than like Mexican Spanish. Anyways, so yeah, like they be having him be relevant to the main plot line for like a second. Everything else, like oh, these brown people are often like their brown people things that don't have to do with like the rest of the plot, and they not like making these big moves and stuff. But so and that like all the little like reveals, all the reveals are yes, Miguel Angel Silvestre. Oh yeah, like the Wachowski be on like some kumbaya, we are the world 2020 type shit where like every time they have like a moral of the story or whatever, it's like this very simplistic like we are all one people in our hearts, and it's like what about racism? We are all one people in our hearts, but what about misogyny? We are all one people. Um, Oh my God. How can you not look for yes. Yeah, Duna Bay Duna is Duna Bay. She Bay. As well as Danny. Danny is oh oh oh. Yeah, like Wolfgang still had his own like traumatic backstory and his own demons to fight against, but he still like fought in the main storyline that he was like involved in the main storyline and was like appointed as leader at different times. I don't think any non-white character ever really got to be the leader. I think it was always like Max. Right? I mean, if you have a problem, ask questions. Um, I worked really hard for my right not to do this work. We'll see what no BS someone tagged me in this godforsaken channel. Aw, thank you. Yes, Nomi's low femme voice belt out the Sense8 on the eighth note of the octave. Where are the views? In the eighth octave. I don't even know the title theme like that. Um, but yes, Nomi's low femme voice is like required listening for people to be like, how high pitched is estrogen? Like the people that just want to do like vocal feminization with pitch alone, listen to Nomi's voice, which is not like it passes conditionally with her look somewhat because it's not like the most fun because she's not like doesn't sound like super masculine or butch or anything, but I think she does tread a little bit of a line. But that's not necessarily because of the low pitch. That's because she is very like level in the way she talks. She's not super dainty or girly in the way that she talks. So like there's plenty of like AFABs with the same thing that just don't like you believe the things that you say. You must not be a woman. It's kind of like this algorithm of assigning vocal femininity, and I think Nomi is like, or the actress that plays Nomi, even Jamie Clayton, she's very level in the way she talks. So some people could read that in as masculine the same way a lot of it, but like the actual color of her voice is still like nice and feminine, even as she goes down into like these baritone realness notes. You're free voice questions. People's voice questions aren't free. I have to like yell and scream for that. That's extra. That's a tall order. That's a voyage. That's the climb. Miley who? The climb is getting people to ask questions during these damn things. No comment. Charles's comment has left the chat. Um, I I'm trying to think of any other housekeeping that I gotta do. Oh yeah. Keep in mind, I'm gonna try to have the next. Oh God, I've been running the server for more than a year. I've already run it for more than a year. Have I? Have I been on Discord? Definitely more than a year. Oh God, I'm old and fading, and no one will remember my face. Um, I said chocolate herpes. Okay, so uh, yeah. Um, open mic, tentatively, Halloween sometime. Keep a lookout for it. We'll be doing analyses, and we still have the new server initiative that I'm trying to get up because nobody cares about my life and my dreams. Um, oh my God! No, no, Kayetan. But yeah, so if you want to sing for analysis, keep an eye out on the server. Don't forget to join the server for opportunities for the open mic for vocal analysis, and that will be sometime on Halloween. I'll come up with something soon. And keep in mind that open office hours are now going to be once a month, unless you want to keep them weekly, so you can pester me with your unimportant platitudes. Um, and that will be once a week eventually with Patreon. I'm gonna take a break for a little bit and try to like get some infrastructure. So the next week or two, I might not have it, but then I'm gonna start up doing it every week, and then one of those weeks a month will be general access. So I'm Hollywood and changed now. I can feel my skin getting lighter, and my job prospects looking like I'll actually get a call back, and I won't have time for your questions for an office hours that ends at 8:30 coming in at like 9 o'clock. Um, if you want to make sure that question gets answered, make sure to use either the Reddit or the Facebook to reserve your questions so I can laugh at them. That victory bell, that bell does not look like victory. That bell looks like defeat. Da, da, da. That's not victory bell, is it? That's not victory bell. Yeah, it's the unevolved form. Digimon for life though, because like I don't like that Pokemon evolve permanently. Like I don't want to look at that. Like I need Vileplume is evolution. No, Vileplume is Oddish. Ah! Ah! Scinguistics. Yes, Bianc. No Krampus. But Bellsprout, Bellsprout. That's what the little unevolved form is. Ugh. God, I need this to be over. Oh, no. No. Bianca no Krampus. A slice of life anime about a plucky voice teacher that tries to fatten a Caucasian. Long ass sequence. Wait, wait. Yeah. Obviously, I was gonna be over by the time I finished that. Ugh, I might. You probably just gonna mute when I do it, anyways. Eh, do I want to? I told a 9-year-old this song. That was amazing experience in hating parents. Oh, any exercises for the growl onsets like the ones Beyonce might do? Well, first you're gonna do the exercise of you're gonna reach down and then you're gonna grab your wallet and you're gonna take out your credit card and subscribe on Patreon. Yeah, I usually don't give full drills, but something to keep in mind because they take a while to teach, and like nobody ever does them right. Um, because my life is a never-ending series of failure. And oh god, my ass. Ooh, oh, oh Jesus. Um, but something you want to keep in mind with the false folds, which I think what Beyonce does, is you want to lean into doing them with breath. So using like a little micro H to cheat into them. It's like, ho, ho, and then like trying to take that H out is a good way to be able to learn to do it sustainably because I think people can mess themselves up a little bit. The way Beyonce does hers is like very light. Like she doesn't have the false folds super constricted, so she doesn't have them like or something like that. She's more like what's that dang Beyonce? I don't know much. Well, I don't sing much. I don't know much about algebra, but I know 1 plus 1 equals 2. 11. So doing that kind of like lighter edge of it was like, I don't know much about algebra, but I know. Like you don't want the false folds to be quite as heavily engaged. The erosion gods took away your A3. 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 M3. A reach down. Oh my god, y'all acting up. 70. 73 questions. Damn. God, I want this to be over. I might just end this early. Because I started early for once. I overcame the epigenetics of my people. Why does OBS keep trying to make a feature on the track when I didn't invite her? I didn't see that. Um Wow, y'all really know how to like murder me in cold blood. Yeah, no, yeah, outside is not coming out. I still don't have my stamina left from yesterday cause I was mad at myself for not having stamina. So I did some suicides to get stamina. Now I have no stamina. Unless you pay me. Oh. Yeah, even my like whistles of dejection are struggling today. Oh my god. The energy to sing. Ah! 404 voice not found. Oh, you know what I should have been doing? How I'll finish this off. Let me answer some more of the questions on the Reddit from my day ones who believe in me. And by believe in me, I mean were blackmailed and extorted into asking questions on my Reddit. Um, uh, which one of these? I don't think I answered the mix. No. No. Mix one fatigue. Okay, there we go. Throughout my 3 years of singing, oh, you got me beat. I've noticed that singing higher lightly in M1 can cause fatigue. Does this fatigue come from working out different muscles or muscle coordinations? If so, does fatiguing this way improve your mix one? The way mix one might be fatiguing is if you're doing fake belt that can dry you out a little quicker. Like if you're doing a very, very light belt that can dry you out kind of quickly. But the main source of fatigue, which will make your voice like kind of run out a little quicker. It's like not the end of the world if your thrusty is drier than my love life, but you still don't want to get that prematurely. So if you know you're going to do a coordination that requires a lot of airflow egress between your vocal folds, you're going to sleep like me. You're going to want to have like water ready and stuff. And then, but in terms of muscular fatigue, the one thing I can think of is like just stabilizing pitch is more difficult when you have more of like a light fledgling coordination. happening in M1, it's really easy for it to like if you're like so that was M1 until I broke it at the end on purpose. Um, but yeah, that is harder to do and sustain in some ways than going like because I have some sort of like hold on M1 um, with oh my god, my back is sweaty. I have some kind of hold on M1 when I do this heavier close quotient coordination, but if I sort of just let it all hang out, it's gonna want to pop into M2. Like if I'm really light, it might go like, and that's honestly like what these people try to do with Schrodinger's larynx to try to get mixed. Is I'm going to mix failure with disappointment, and that's my mix register. It's like my true blend, like where people are like, this is my genetic ancestry, and it like shows their cheek, and they're like, I am 1% Saskatchewan and 2% Szechuan chicken, and it shows their like ethnic ancestry, and they find like a shade of makeup that will make the pores of their ancestors scream. So similarly, people try to like find their own interpretation of what mix is by like blending two things together, or like two or more three things together. Oftentimes it's like incantations and diaphragm spells in a cauldron, and you stir it with a copy of CBT. Ah! And that has people trying to like do multiple glottal coordinations at one time, trying to mix them together. But your glottals can only do one kind of coordination at a time. So a lot of people try to like instead of when they really want mix one or mix two, try to do both at the same time. But I think that's a great way of demonstrating like that kind of error is like sounds very similar to what happens when people just like try to get so light with mix two, and they're really just better off mix one, and they're really just better off using mix two inside of M2, but they want to double boil in treble resonance, so they try to like really thin out M1 beyond what's reasonable to use because they want it to be somewhere between like exactly M1 and M2 and the hyperspace continuum, and you get the flux back and forth. So even short of doing that, and especially if you're doing that, you need to work on the stabilizer muscles that can help, like TA and CT are especially, I guess, TA, muscle thyroidnoid is probably really helpful in keeping the vocal cords. It's 8:30. Bye. 8:31. I'm charging y'all overtime for this shit. So you'll want to hold the coordination with those muscles, and if they're not trained up, that's where you can get this actual kind of fatigue. Even though it's not a strong, demanding muscular activity, this sort of flux is something you kind of have to hold on to and stop happening with this sort of like sense of muscle. It's like standing on one foot. That's a good analogy. It's like standing on one foot. That it's not like some isometric, very intense exercise bearing down on that leg. Like one leg, so it's not that your one leg isn't strong enough to carry you. It's that balancing is hard, and staying in a certain configuration is hard. So staying in a really light M1 as you get into like belting range, especially, can or where this overlap with M2. Damn, that scared the bejeebus out of me. That can make it. No, I can't make it, but that can make it because I'm done. Would be something in M1 in the upper fourth octave, but without belting. Oh my god. Like, I don't mind doing, wait, actually, no. Yeah, because you can use M1 in the fourth, but I don't use M1 above F4 without belting, and I think I'm doing just fine. So it's not necessary to get to like C5, even if it's possible, without belting and M1. I mean, even if it doesn't sound super belty, it's probably just mechanistically done by really squashing and silencing a belt. Okay, I'm done. But before I go, I want y'all to know that I hate you all, and you're not invited to my funeral when I die of exhaustion. But also Patreon. There'll be more stuff like this weekly. I'll be doing quizzes that I'll give out the answers on. There'll probably be like more quizzes on Patreon or something. I don't know. I don't know. But if you want more stuff like this, like a more in-depth office hours, keep an eye out for that. Another Patreon benefit that'll be sort of like this is clinic hours that are coming soon, where people will do like their homework, voice homework live in the voice chat, and I'll tell them what they're doing wrong and how badly I want to die. That's my secret, Captain. I always want to die. And until then, submit your questions on Reddit and Facebook, Scinguistics Reddit, Scinguistics Facebook, to reserve them for the now like monthly office hours. Um, how you gonna do the same thing that killed me at my funeral? Not sure who Jody is, but if they're female, like cis female, part of it for me is something psychological. Like if someone else, yeah, I mean, if you really want to do it just to say you did it, but stylistically, I don't think it accomplishes like a whole lot to to like have a non-belt sounding M1 on like H17. Wait, what? I don't understand. Yeah, yeah, no, I feel like I can do plenty of stuff in the fourth octave, like with a mix two. If I'm not gonna belt, and mix two sounds like, eh, 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 eh. Like you can still convey because that's honestly like it's hella cis women doing mix two in the upper fourth, lower fifth. Like I don't know if people are getting it in the brains that this is just like some convention that cis women go to where they are like, let us use this mechanism past where it's reasonable. Because I just don't think it's even like reasonable um, when M2 is like so much easier and really doesn't sound that different. Especially if you're doing a feminine voice. Like, if you're doing a more masculine voice, I could see a need for dragging M1 up higher. But like if you're doing a feminine voice, the sound is super convergent. Um, yeah, I am done. Patreon, YouTube, subscribe, obey. Ugh, stop. Yeah.